Spiritual arrogance versus egoistical modesty. So today is this is our topic, and I'm gonna start with one of my real life experience. That actually blew away my mind. So I was in a book fair. I am trying to look for books that I could buy, and I could just go home and read it. So I have a habit of opening books in between. I will just open any random page. I will try to see if it makes sense to me, and only then I'm going to buy it. So here I'm at a book fair. I have picked up an Osho book in my hand and I'm reading it. I'm reading a random page of it and I'm trying to see if it is something really good, only then I'm going to buy. And what I found on the random page is an answer to my long awaited question, and that answer just blew away my mind completely. So, but what was the question that I had found the answer in Osho's book? So the question had arose many years ago. After I passed my 12th, I had picked up Bhagavad Gita in a hope to find answers to life. So I had passed my 12th and I gradually see a failure of my mind. So I just worked exactly and according to you know how I had been programmed till now. So I had been working exactly like that and nothing had worked. So but nothing had worked. So now I am just a little hopeless about life and I don't know what to do. Before I always knew what to do, but now suddenly everything started to cripple and I don't know what to do. So I had picked up this Bhagavad Gita and I am trying to read the book, all right, and I read it like quite 3 times or something, and I'm trying to understand it. So I made it like we bought a new book, complete new script we got at home because I don't know, I'm not very good with reading Hindi, and also I needed um, something very I needed a translated version rather than an interpretation of Bhagavad Gita. So at least I was like that intelligent enough to know that I would be needing a translated version. I wanted to read like exact words of God, like what are Krishna's words really in Bhagavad Gita, okay, and I want to make a sense of things, okay, because my whole world has somehow crippled. So I'm kind of reading this Bhagavad Gita, and it's exactly from Sanskrit to English, direct translation. There were a few interpretations in the beginning and never at that. I hate reading interpretations because somewhere I have an idea of how people think. Like I reached an age where I knew how people think now. I knew there's not anything new. Everyone thinks the same way. And there is no freshness, but there's nothing new or refreshing. It's very old and repetitive how people think. They all think in the same way. Even those, interpretations are going to be like that. So I didn't kind of, you know, wanted to read those interpretations. So I got a script that is completely translated version from Sanskrit to English. So I'm reading and I read that like 3 times maybe. I just read the translations. And I got more confused when I read Bhagavad Gita. I got more confused and there were 3 to 4 things that I completely hated about Bhagavad Gita. Okay, I was like, what? How can this be? How can that be? How can this be? So I think I can keep a separate video for few things I didn't, at that time I didn't understood and didn't like about Bhagavad Gita, but later on got my answer. So I think I will keep a separate video as well for that. But now let's just focus on this one question that I had, developed when I was reading Bhagavad Gita. So I had this question, so there is this one damn chapter in Bhagavad Gita where, Krishna is talking about himself, okay? And he's talking all about himself. Like, I am the God, I am this, I am that. Like, there are few pages, where he just keeps talking. You have no idea who I am. I am this, I am that, and I'm so big, I'm so powerful. And I'm not liking it. While reading it, I'm not liking it. Okay. And somewhere I think Arjuna is right also, because he makes sense when he says that I don't want to kill my kins and relatives. I mean, to me, it makes sense. I thought I'm somebody who hates violence. I completely hate violence. So I'm thinking Arjuna is right, no? But I am not really aware of the whole Mahabharata scene that has happened, the whole thing that has happened before coming to that war. You know, even I wasn't even aware about Draupadi, what had happened to her, and things like that. So, when I really got to know the context of the story and, of how it came to that war, then I realized that why Krishna was speaking the way he was speaking, why Arjuna was speaking the way he was speaking. And of course, my answers got cleared by Deep Trivedi sir, you know, and later on, very later on in life. But in between, I was little like, Bhagavad Gita didn't make sense to me. And I just picked up this Osho's book and I found an answer to this question. So in that Osho book, somebody has also asked the same question, that Krishna appears so egoistical, in that book, where he says that appears so egoistical in that book where he says that I am this, I am that, I know this, I know that. So somebody has also the same question. So I was glad, yaar. Somebody is asking, somebody has the same mindset like me or something like that. And then I read Osho's answer and it just blew away my mind. He said that, why does it appear so egoistical to you? Isn't he saying the truth? Isn't he saying his truth? Why does it appear egoistical to you? And it just so much made sense to me. And at that point I realized, yes, he is right. We don't like truth. We don't like our truth. And we are so programmed, to appear or to become modest in front of people, especially middle class. You see, middle classes are so much programmed, into modesty, okay? They are made to see themselves as, they're made to believe that you should not speak your own truth, how modesty is. अरे नहीं नहीं, मैंने तो कुछ किया ही नहीं, अरे नहीं नहीं, ये तो अपने आप हो गया. अरे नहीं नहीं, ये तो ऐसे होता ही नहीं है. अरे इसमें तो इतने लोग ही मेहनती हैं ना. उन लोग जैसे अवार्ड लेने जाते हैं तो बोलते हैं अरे मैंने तो कोई एक्टिंग करी ही नहीं, ये तो ये तो सॉन्ग राइटर्स हैं, ये है वो है. अपनी तारीफ. And somewhere they don't do it because they want to appear a little humble. It is more about how they appear, you know. So they try to appear very modest. Oh, wait a minute. I just, before starting on this video, I tried to just search and find about, how modesty is seen in psychology. and I found a wonderful explanation of it. Just a second. So, this is a very beautiful definition. In psychological context, modesty refers to a behavior or attitude where an individual downplays their own achievements, skills, or qualities, often in an attempt to appear humble. So they want to appear humble, and that is why they will not speak their own truth. कहते हैं ना, अपनी तारीफ मत करो, ऐसे सिली से लगोगे, पॉपुलर से लगोगे, try and maintain your image. तो मिडिल क्लासेस को तो बहुत ही सिखाया जाता है, अपर क्लासेस में तो बहुत ही ज़्यादा होता है. अपर क्लासेस में तो बहुत ही ज़्यादा होता है. So I and yeah, that was my, at that point I just sat on like a chair that was kept in a corner and I kept contemplating on this. It was so right how people are trying to live in their own lies, and they don't want to accept their own truth. They don't want to even accept their own powers. They want to downplay themselves, just to appear something. Okay. Whereas Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, he has nothing to do with Kaurav Pandavas. He could be in his kingdom. He could be happy, with all his queens and everything. He is yet there, standing in between Kauravas and Pandavas, trying to, make people win who are little better. Making Pandavas win who are little better than Kauravas. So Krishna is doing everything possible. He is doing his duty. He doesn't care about his image, and he is trying to convince Arjuna in any way possible, even if that takes telling Arjuna his own power. So I think he's very humble enough, to tell about his identity. I mean, of course, my perspective shifted after that, and I started to understand some psyche of Krishna as well. Yeah, so this completely reversed my mind, and I wanted to share it here. How, so spirituality is not about being good person, अपने क्रेडिट जाके दूसरे को दे दो, सेल्फ सैक्रिफाइस कर दो, do this or appear good, be good. No, spirituality is not about that. Spirituality is about staying in your own truth. Spirituality is not about you cannot feel hurt. Spirituality is not about you cannot complain, okay? But that does also not mean that spirituality is about if you're feeling to murder somebody, you go and murder somebody. Of course it doesn't mean that, okay? Spirituality is about staying in your own truth, looking at yourself, okay? If you even really feel like murdering somebody, you sit with yourself and I don't know, I won't say okay, this is so stupid, I feel. I mean, if you really feel like murdering somebody, you need some pills, I guess. You need some pills, definitely. So, spirituality, is, I don't know, maybe some criminals can be, I don't know, there are the studies who show that even many criminals show a good sign of spiritual growth, in prisons. So there are some studies like that as well. So I was reading it once. So I don't know, it is more about what realizations have you come to. Nobody thought that Ashok, Samrat Ashok would give up his kingdom and would accept Buddhism after killing thousands and hundreds of people in a war. So nobody knew that. So I don't know. It is more about you being willing, to see your own truth and trying to ascend and accept, So yeah. So what I was trying to say was that spirituality is not about don't get hurt, don't get this. You know, there are now some lofty ideas. We are having some lofty ideas of spirituality. It is not like that. You know how we had some lofty ideas of religion, like you put God to another pedestal. No, in spirituality, you reach to God. You try to accept the possibility that you can reach to God. You don't have very lofty ideas of God in spirituality. Likewise, in spirituality, you stay in your own truth. You see people for who they are. You don't, try to see them in a good light. I definitely accept that everyone is beautiful in their own ways. I cannot help and not see beauty in people. But it is also true that I should accept people for who they are. If I see something bad in me, I should accept it. If I see something good in me, I should accept it. If I see something bad in somebody else, I should accept it. If I see something good in somebody else, I should accept it. I should not try to mold it into lies. Reality is what it is, you know, and we should not try to mold it into some lofty ideas, or even seeing them as nuisance. Okay, so yeah, um, spirituality is more about staying in your own truth, and the more and more you stay in your own truth, the more and more you accept the reality for what it is, suddenly you find that you have unlocked another level of reality. Let's say when you come into complete, when you walk your spiritual path, when you gain wisdom, when you try to know the laws of universe, when you go through an ego death, through experiences of life and everything, you come into complete acceptance of things. So let's say you have an anger issues, you completely accept your anger issues, you forgive yourself for it, right? And you also try to seek wisdom for it, you know then you will see that you will, ascend. You will move beyond your anger issues. You somewhere will see the root of why it was happening to you, and you will ascend higher. So that is exactly how things work in spirituality. You don't go and jump, I won't be angry from today on. It is not going to happen. No, you have to understand, where are these compulsions coming from? What have you what have you done wrong about your life? Okay, that these compulsions of anger is coming. And most of the time when we are angry, they are that is more or less because of an other situation or another person. And you will see that your anger comes out on another situation, on another person, or sometimes the same person but another situation. You may feel, you just have a look at it, the more the small issue is, the more your anger will be. So have a look at your anger, so try to catch where really anger is coming from. What is the root of it? What did you really feel bad? What did you not look into your own self? What did you not accept in your own self or about others in society? You have not have a level of acceptance. That is why you are a little angry. So spirituality works like this. Okay, so yes, I wanted to do this video of spiritual arrogance, and egoistical modesty. So I want, since I said the word spiritual arrogance, I just wanted to even talk about why spiritual people may look like they are arrogant, like Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. So he is just saying his own truth. He is seeing people for who they are. So sometimes they have become very pure, and they have become very innocent. They don't care what the world will see them as. So sometimes they just speak their own truth. you know they speak their own truth. They're not you know they don't have problem to see demons inside them. They have no problem to see demons in you. So sometimes it just mentioned that, and everybody thinks that that person is arrogant, you know. So Krishna also, he just appeared little arrogant to me, but he wasn't. He wasn't. Spiritual people may appear like that, but they are in their own truth. They see for what things are, Many a times they might not mention it to you, but they see things for who they are. All right. Yeah. Even Krishna had, you know, Krishna as a god even had boundaries. In one of the videos, I remember I said that spiritual people have far away boundaries, but they do have it, you know. Yeah. Sometimes they, I don't know if I'll be able to explain this or not, but there is this one incident where, you know, I'm forgetting the name of that person, who came to Krishna and, he was cursing him, abusing him. So Krishna said, after your 100 abuses, I'm gonna cut you, I'm gonna murder you, kill you, with Sudarshan Chakra, whatever it is. So his boundary was 100 or 99, whatever you can say. So yeah, they have boundaries, and yeah. So, and people are not going to like it. People are not going to like it that they are so clear cut. People are not going to like you if you're spiritually aware of things. You are spiritually, you have done work on yourself. You have seen demons inside of you. You are clear cut about your boundaries. You are clear cut about people in your life. You're clear cut about situations in your life. People are not going to like it. People are not going to like it. They don't like you to be clear cut and have an experience of your life. They want you to be a little confused, so that they can manipulate you. They can make you feel guilty or shame or whatever. They may use these tactics to manipulate you. They don't like you to be clear cut and be aware of your own powers, or the faults of others. They don't like it subconsciously and unconsciously. So yeah, I just wanted to make a video on this.